Hello guys, welcome back to a brand new video. Today it's going to be another tier list video. But this time I actually get to show off the builds of what I'd run. I'm going to show maybe for certain weapons and multiple different builds. Today's going to be a semi-short video. I don't know, it depends how long I talk about the weapon. There's only 3 guns in this category that we're going to be talking about today, and that's the power defense weapons, the PDWs. So the Honey Badger, the Groza, the God tier Groza, sorry. Let me rephrase that. And the P90. In their own way, all these guns are really powerful and really good. So that the Honey Badger it shreds up close and personal. It is the SMG of the bunch. It has such good damage. The Groza is the AR of the lot. So it's got really good range, very good close and personal as well. And the P90 is basically a mixture between the two. It's good mid range to close range. It has a lot of good ammo. It's decent damage. They're all good in their own way. It comes with a little bit of downfall, such as the Honey Badger and its recoil. Like, look at this. Bounces all over the place. But yeah, we're going to start off with the Honey Badger. So for the Honey Badger, you want to be using this gun close range. Let's have a look at the graph here at the bottom. Look at that damage drop off here. Compared to the Groza and the P90, there's a little bit more range. Compared, the Honey Badger, it starts to drop off a little bit sooner than the other ones. It has 32 damage per shot, 48 damage per headshot. You can 3-hit light helmets and 4-shot body shot enemy players up close and personal. Obviously, just look at that. It's around, like I say, this is around like 16 damage per shot at 100 meters range. Most of the time though, you are going to be within the 50 meters when using this gun. Using this gun and tap firing at distance with this gun is a bit troll. The downside to this gun, you cannot have a barrel attachment because it has an internal suppressor. Can't put any barrel attachment on. So how I'd build this thing, it's got the second slowest, or between the 3, it's the middle ground for reload time out of the 3 PDWs. So we can have 2 extra different types of magazines. The only issue is the base ammo for the magazine is 24 bullets. If you want a quicker reload, you're going to have to sacrifice 4 bullets per mag for a little bit of time saved on that reload, with a penalty increase to your vertical and horizontal recoil. You could go for the extended AMAG, but you're going to increase your reload time to over 4.5. You're going to slow yourself down. The ADS time is slower. The draw speed is slower. And also the recoil, the horizontal recoil, will be over 2.2. That thing will bounce everywhere. So the magazine attachments, in my opinion, are quite useless. But if you do want to go for speed and don't really care about those 4 extra bullets lost per mag, you could go for the speed here. If you want to go for reload, obviously the B25 URK also saves yourself a little bit of recoil. I would use the BCM gunfighter because this thing bounces around a lot. Vertical you can control no matter how bad it is. Even the Scorpion you just pull down, but that thing has so much horizontal recoil. Horizontal recoil is something you can control less compared to vertical. So with a gun like this, you want to focus on trying to get that horizontal recoil penalty lowered as much as you can. And with the limited amount you can't add a barrel onto it, it's going to bounce a lot. Okay, so this is what I'd do. No magazine, no side rail, any sight you want. Obviously not medium range because that's stupid. And a BCM gunfighter grip. So in the pistol video, I got this stat wrong. This is vehicle damage. If it had H, heavy vehicle damage, light vehicle damage, you get the point. So it does 2 damage per hit on the vehicles, you know, like the little truck type things, not like APCs or tanks, which is pretty good. Not too bad. It ain't compared to some guns that don't even have this stat. The first shot kick is just 1, so it is what it is. If you don't really care about horizontal, and if you're close range, it doesn't really matter to you, and you can't control the vertical. Obviously, you got to go for the vertical grip. The vertical grip is just insane. Thing is, the horizontal recoil bumps up to 2, so I really would suggest using the BCM gunfighter, even though it does add 0.3 to your vertical recoil. And let's just go check this thing out in the range. With this Honey Badger build, I'm going to show you what it's like without controlling it. Now if we compare that, no underbarrel, look how much more left and right that is. That is crazy without the underbarrel. The BCM gunfighter does save this gun a fair bit, but this thing does shred. It is nuts. This thing is insane. Yeah, 50 meters is somewhat doable, but anything past 50 meters like this, it's just going to be... There's no real point you're going to be shooting. There's no real point. You're going to be wasting ammo. Maybe you might get the kill. Who knows? But yeah, close range, this gun shines. But look at that damage fall off. We're supposed to be getting 32 damage. At 20 meters, we get 31.91. That's just showing out like how close you have to be for your maximum damage potential. I think this is the worst PDW in the game currently out of the 3. So how I'm going to be doing tier list stuff is basically where would I place it if I was comparing it to all other weapons. I would place this as a solid B, a high B, could maybe with the right a couple buffs here and there. I feel like this would be placed in a high B, maybe a low A, but I personally feel like a high B is where I'd put this gun. Moving on to the Groza. This thing is insane. Now the Groza has less velocity, but more accuracy than the Honey Badger. Has 2 on the stat page, more first shot kick, but after that you're golden. It's a beam. 2 more extra damage, 8 more vehicle damage, not heavy vehicle, just normal vehicle damage. Look at that horizontal recoil. That horizontal recoil is something to die for. 0.6, holy shit, that's actually nuts. Vertical recoil is decent as well, very good vertical recoil. Fire rate, pretty good. Less than the Honey Badger though. But look at the damage graph down here. You have less fall off the range compared to the Honey Badger, where after 20 meters it starts to fall off. This is around 50 meters, then it starts to fall off the damage. So you're going to be a little bit more consistent with the shots on this gun. The control is worse than the Honey Badger. You're a little bit faster with the Groza. The reload time is slower than the Honey Badger, and you can't add a magazine to counter it. And that's the bad thing about this gun, is that its reload time is quite slow, but it makes up for it in damage. Honestly, the damage range and the damage on this thing is insane. You might also notice that you can't add an underbarrel to it. Where the fuck are you going to put it? But you can add a barrel, and that's what we like to see. Honestly, it's personal preference. So in most cases, some barrels, I'm pretty sure like the Van B or like a heavy barrel, if there was a heavy barrel in this gun, would increase the damage. No barrel on the Groza increases its damage. It only takes away certain barrels do. If you want your bullets to land a little bit faster, you know, travel a little bit quicker to your target, you'd use the NT4556. You don't really need anything that cares about horizontal recoil. You want something, you know, a little bit less vertical recoil that doesn't mess with your damage range at all, or your damage at all. So I'd go for the tactical. Personally, is the best barrel for this gun. If you're finding the muzzle flashes a bit too much, obviously the flash hider on every weapon basically removes it. I wouldn't bother putting on suppressor, because I think suppressors are quite useless in this game, if I'm going to be totally honest. Like we say, most of the time, no point in the side rail. Optic, whatever you want. The damage on this gun is 34 damage per shot, body shot, and 51 to the head. And this gun is actually just a straight beam. You can see how easy it is to control. I'm not going to pull down first. Look at that thing. It's just almost a straight line up. After that first shot kick, you see how like it just bumps up and then just becomes a laser beam. You can easily control that. It is just a laser beam. It has such good damage. And don't forget that damage fall off range is around 50 meters. So you're just going to be beaming. And where I'd rank this gun, I'd rank it at a solid S tier. Honestly, this gun is up there with the Vector. Now, moving on to the P90. 28 damage to the body and 42 to the head. The same fire rate as the Honey Badger. This thing has a lot of muzzle flash, but the accuracy is really good. The accuracy out of these 3 guns is the best out of the 3. The control is the best out of the 3. The vertical recoil is the best out of the 3. The horizontal, worse than the Groza, better than the Honey Badger. You can't add an underbarrel attachment to this, obviously. Where you're going to put it again, just like the Groza, you can't put it anywhere, so it makes sense. Now you see the magazine, saves you almost a full second. Does penalise your vertical recoil a little bit. However, I would run a flash hider on this thing, as you see here. The flash hider not only gives you a lot less horizontal recoil, it balances it out between the two. It also gets rid of that muzzle flash. It also adds a little bit of accuracy on top of that as well. But I would be happy with a flash hider on this thing with a quick aim magazine, as you have a less than a 3-second reload. Damage range, pretty sure it's the same as the Groza, where the fall off ranges, main sight, wherever you want it to be. And honestly, this thing shreds, guys. This thing is actually nuts. I'm not gonna pull down. A little bit worse than the Groza. But don't forget you have a 50 round magazine. That's me controlling it. Very, very controllable. Especially with the flash hider. Very controllable. A lot less left and rightiness. Good balance between the two recoils with the flash hider. And plus that headshot multiplier is actually nuts. 42 headshot damage. So you're going to be 3 hit in the head, 4 shot in the body. Very, 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 very good weapon. I'll put this also. See, I don't know where to put this also as an S tier weapon. I feel like it needs to be an S tier weapon. Honestly, it's such a good weapon when you unlock it. It is so powerful. Also, the hip fire is really good as well. But yeah, guys, that's my short little review on these 3 weapons. Let me know what you think. In the next video, we'll probably do SMGs or just a cheeky little carbine video, as there's only 2. Hopefully, we get this tier list board fully sorted out. But yeah, that's been Fizz, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.